Rocky, your story?
Well, I guess I'm a returner. I'm kind of a stayer too. As being a returner, let's go to stayer. Being from a household of both my parents were educators. I graduated from high school and it was, I was kind of dragging my feet, didn't know exactly what I was going to do. Dad told me what I was going to do. You're going to college. I said, okay. How about Manchester? He said, no, I'll take care of that too. So I ended up down the Ohio River in Hanover, Indiana, at Hanover College. He said, son, you need to get away from home. You're going to be here all your life doing the same thing. So I went to Hanover, graduated with a business administration degree. Knew I wanted to get into law enforcement. So Indiana State Police was hiring at that time, so I went through the academy down in Indianapolis and became a state trooper. And at that time, state troopers couldn't go back to their home counties. So I was sent to Allen County to work there. It went very well. John Shuttle was the superintendent after about 6 years, asked me, called me in down to Indianapolis. And you get a call by the superintendent to come to Indianapolis thinking, well, I may be back home, or this could be good. But he offered me the job to be the head of training in Southern Indiana, Southern Thurston with Hanover College. But I knew where I wanted to go. Eventually I wanted to go back to Coxhouse County, because I love the county, it's a great place to live. And I knew I wanted to raise my family in this county also. So I turned it down, and he looked at me and said, you know what you're doing? Well, I think so, but I'm going to turn it down and go back, work as a trooper up in Allen County, and lived in Columbia City at that time. Well, John left as a superintendent of state police. Another superintendent came in. He called me down. I was offered the same position down in the southern part of the state, and I turned it down again. At that time, I was real sure what I was going to do when I retired. I retired. An opening came in Coxhouse County Sheriff's Department. I retired on Friday, went to work for Coxhouse County on Monday. So, I worked for the Sheriff's Department at that time as a school resource officer up at Wallasey High School, which I think is that program with the schools, it was a incredible program. Went from there and then had the opportunity to run for sheriff and was elected sheriff.
It's quite a journey. Thanks. So Rebecca Pierston, Chicago, Los Angeles, Warsaw, or Syracuse. Yes.
Well, I sort of teased Mike because I met Mike in high school, as you said earlier, and he said I was his ticket out, but he didn't tell me it was a return trip. So anyway, but I guess I've been a stayer in every community that I've ever lived. When we lived in Wheaton, that was my home. I got involved in the community and loved it. Became a part of where I lived. We moved to Los Angeles. I had the same attitude. I was a stayer. That was going to be my home. I didn't know for how long, but that was my home, so I was going to do whatever I needed to do to get involved in my community and make it better. That's sort of how we've always lived our life, is wherever we live, we want to make it better. Because, whether we stay or not, if you've done something good wherever you've lived, someone's going to benefit from that. And I've always sort of kept that. When we moved back to Indiana, we've always thought that we would come here when we retired, live on the lake. The job opportunity came up for Mike, and that's really, it was employment. And we had family here, and it just sort of moved up our plan for coming back at some point. And I've taken the same attitude. It was my home when I grew up, and it's my home now. And now it's home for my daughter, Katie. I really do think that when you're a stayer, you can be a stayer anywhere. I love the fact that I'm a stayer here now. But if the circumstances came and I had to move again, I'd be a stayer in my new place. I really do think my philosophy in life is you just want to make where you live better, not just for yourself, but the people in your community. And I really do think that's sort of what I was driven, not really driven, I don't think it's a coincidence that I ended up becoming a state representative, because I want to make my state a better place. I want to be a stayer in my state. And I think all of that, even though I didn't realize was happening, it's no accident. I think I feel like Susie does. we were put in place for a reason, and I don't question it. I just do the best that I can and hope that people in my community, my state, benefit from it.
It's interesting. It's kind of a strange mix between contentment, but also we got to make it better.
I'm sorry?
It's a strange mix of a feeling of contentment. I'm here, I accept that, I live here now, but I want to make it better.
Yeah. I never second guess anything. I'm put in a position and I just do make the best out of that situation, and I don't think I wish I was here or I wish I was there. I am where I am, and I make that place a better place, or at least I try to.
That's great. Brett, how about you?
Well, when I graduated high school, I didn't want to go to college. Really had no idea where. Kind of like Rocky, my parents made that clear to me, that it would be either Manchester or Grace. So I chose Grace College. The first day of college, when I walked into the Flavia for all the orientation stuff, I met a young lady that I married 4 years later. She's local, and we were married the summer after we graduated. I was fortunate enough at that point to have been hired by Tiffany Valley to teach. And that I was very pleased with that, because I had absolutely no desire to leave the community. My family, both sets of grandparents were farmers and very close. So leaving was really never a thought. And I know you mentioned it was a choice. At the time, I guess I didn't think of it as a choice, but it was. So I began teaching for Tiffany Valley, moved to Akron where my job was, and had lots of opportunities over the years to learn and to grow and to do different things, and I'm very thankful for that. So that's I guess that's my story.
Now, behind Brett's calm, cool, somewhat introverted exterior lies the heart of a very innovative person. In his school corporation, they've just put up a wind turbine that will generate approximately 75% of the power his school system needs to provide the electricity for running day-to-day operations. It will pay for itself in about 12 to 15 years. And it's a remarkable thing, really, when you think about it. It's kind of an out-there initiative for Northern Indiana. Also, Brett's school system started an interesting program, the Distinguished Alumnus Program. They're in their second year of that. Was there any thinking about this brain drain phenomenon in developing that particular program? And if so, what was it?
Well, there absolutely was. This was the second year for our Distinguished Alumni, and we very purposefully selected 6 of 12 individuals who live within 20 miles of our high school campus. We want our students to see that you don't have to leave to be successful, that there are opportunities right here at home, that if you get your education and you work hard, take advantage of the opportunities that are there for you, that you can be successful right here.
How does that happen, Brett, early on in a student's school career? Could we be more purposeful about that, is what I'm asking.
I think we can always be more purposeful in talking to our young people. I have found that I talk to students different since I've read Hollowing Out the Middle. I almost try to challenge students that are capable, are very capable kids of, go get your education, bring it back, and how can you use it to make this a better place? People here have invested a lot in you. I don't think kids understand that. I know I didn't understand that. But we have a tremendous investment in our young people. How can we get a return on that investment? By bringing them back to make it a better place. This generation of young people is different. They understand what it means to pay it forward. They understand what it means to try to make the world a better place. And I think if we can encourage them to come back, I think if we can hook them when they're young, and by that I mean, instead of every board that you sit on having people who are 50 and 60 years old, get some 20-year-olds in there. Get some young folks involved. I know that's one of the reasons I stayed is, I had no choice. I go to a very small church. If we're going to keep that church going, I had to get involved at a pretty young age and be part of the leadership there. For me to leave, I would feel like I'm letting some people down. And I think we can do that with our young people, is by getting them involved, helping them see that the future of this town or this organization or whatever it is depends on you becoming part of it and showing your leadership.
That sense of stewardship,
I think so.
taking care of what we have so that in the future it's better.